Well, let's get to it. It's time we got you to speak for the first time in 30 years.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
There we go. Well, it's black as sin. About 2.5 quarts in that pan from what I read in the stick, so it won't be much. Yeah, it's fucking had it. Ain't good. Yep. Let that piss out and do the filter, and it's a Fram. Unfortunately. You can tell because it's orange, that's all they are, but yeah, it won't be no more. I got like a, well, anything's better than that. I think I got a micro guard from O'Reilly's, but anything's better than that. Let that piss out, and we do the filter and dump in some oil. This is why it's important to invest in one of those oil filter ratchet adapters. You ain't doing this by hand. You know, it's getting harder and harder to find the conventional shit. Everything's all synthetic, and I don't want to convert over. Because if you put synthetic in your motor, it's just going to leak out all the fucking gaskets, even though you can get more miles out of it. I just stick with conventional SAE, so we're doing 10W30 Super Guard. That's all I can find at the store. And I already pre-filled the oil filter underneath. I might be able to reuse that. I got a cap and rotor for it. I could replace that too. But I'm also going to work on the spark plugs. Don't know what cylinder this is right off the bat, but this is the first one I took out. It might be able to work, but I'm just going to replace them all anyways. They're like $3 each. So I'm going to take out every spark plug, squirt some of this down there, and crank it over from underneath because it's on jack stands now. That'll be a lot easier. I hope turn it over some more and re-lube the cylinders. Another way you could do it all is take the distributor out and pre-prime the oil pump with an adapter for a cordless drill. You spin that, you pre-prime it. That might be an option I may consider, but for now I'm going to take all the spark plugs out and we'll inspect them one by one. There we go. Yeah, it looks more like the last one, just dirty. There we go. Yeah, this one's a bit fouled up. Yeah, might have a valve issue on that cylinder. Yeah, it looks like the first two. Yeah, a little wet. I did hose them down with WD-40 before I even touched them. I took the boots off him with WD-40, I mean. But the inside, not that bad. Yeah, looking like its neighbor. Not bad. I'll do a comparison of all of them side by side. Well, at least there's some consistency here. Yeah, more or less the same. Like I said, here's the Motorcraft spark plugs. They were cheap enough. Got a battery at the top post. Spark plugs are out. Laid them in the order as I pulled them out. Closest to me is the front, closest away towards the rear is to the back of the motor. ATF is seeping in through the piston rings. Got enough to finish that. I'm going to take my chances on the distributor hopefully working. If not, I can just get another one down the road. So let's make it happen. Let's get a battery in here first. I'm going to see if we can just crank it over. I also got an oil pressure gauge. I'm going to hook it up in the back there. But I'm not going to like utilize that till it's actually running. But let's see if we can hear it crank over hopefully. So I did, as you know, turn it over by hand manually and it ain't locked up, so hopefully I turn the key and it'll, cycle on through. Let's just see what this does. Well, we know the blower motor works. I'm going to go inside and turn that off. Battery connections are just garbage. I wasn't getting on camera, but I was just, playing around with it. Doors would light up and everything, but once it's simple moving, it'll just lose all its power. It's just, you're just chowdered out, but I got to make the best of what I got here. But I got them pretty damn tight. No smoke and fireworks. That was lit up about a minute ago. Yeah, we got floor lights. You hear that? It's not a ticking time bomb. The clock still works. How rare is that? Well, I'll be damned. Fucking is that stiff. Key is stiff. Alright, everything's all assembled. Ready to turn over, so see what it does. I'm going to crank over for a couple of seconds. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but it turned over and that's good enough for me for starters. Stuff evaporates quick. Open that bitch up. So, it wants to run. Okay. Want to play games? Well, ain't that just queer? Wants to play games? Oh, we'll play games. So, what I'm going to do next is make sure the distributor's right, the wires ain't crisscrossed, TDC is where it's supposed to be, on compression. make the motor a little bit easier to work on. So we're gonna get in second gear on this fucking thing, and hopefully by then it'll, you know, show more, it'll impress me a little bit more by then. So far it's been a limp dick approach on this motor's part, so, and I can't stress this enough, this is not going to be an easy fight. Junkyard cars rarely, you know, work in your favor just by turning their damn key. If it was, everyone and their grandmother would be doing that, and there'd be no cars left in the junkyard because they'll all be running. But it takes a special kind of masochist to like doing this shit. So I'm gonna do a few, pull little, you know, tricks out of my sleeve on this thing, and we'll get back at you guys. I ain't done yet. But I'm gonna do a compression test. Maybe it's not getting enough compression in one or two or maybe all the cylinders. I did do this on my last Mercury, and it was around 120, 125 psi, so still remember that. So I'm going to go off that and see what it says cylinder by cylinder. Because if nothing else is wrong, it may be valve drain. Like, I might have bad valves or something. And a good way to test if you got bent valves is with a compression test, so we'll see what it says. Well, there's some problems right there. 70 psi. Should be around 120. I'll double check it. And we'll do this one more time. Well, that's pretty close to where it's supposed to be. It's 118, I think. Yeah, 118-ish. And the last one was like, what, 60 or whatever? Or 70? So that's, you know, we're just working the next one down, so I'm going here like that, in that fashion, so it's definitely giving me some answers. Well, that's good. Similar number, around 118. So that being said, you can this one looks fine. The neighboring looks fine. So far with cylinder number 1, that was iffy. Last one on this side, next. Oh, that's even worse. Holy shit. We're looking at around 30 psi. That's bad. We got valve problems at that point. At least, you know, 30, 29 psi. I think a fucking lawnmower has more psi than that. In the back corner, so we got like 70, regular, you know, 29, 30. Oh geez, what's the other side gotta say? Well, it's slightly good. I mean, we're looking at around 100 psi. I don't remember off the top of my head what's the tolerance on these type of tests, if it's 5 or 10 psi difference between each cylinder. But I think it's, you know, close enough considering, you know, the good ones are 118, so I would say this cylinder gets a pass. You know, we finally got a good number this time. 118 psi. Second one in. Two more to go. That's something to be considered. 100's, you know, close enough to be within normal specs compared to 118 is the average. Well, last one and see what that says, and we'll come up to some conclusions after that. And the final one is 100 psi. Just about. So that one's a bitch to thread in there too, but so it's got around 100. So about what, 3-4 cylinders are kind of off. I'm gonna have to start doing some research on why it's doing that now. But it explains more about why the motor is the way it is. But yeah, that fucking cylinder, it went up from like 60, 70, a little bit ATF in the cylinder, fucking went up right up to like 100 psi. So I'd say that's indicative of like piston rings, I think. Something of that sort, so let's see about trying that other cylinder too. Well, after squirting some ATF down it, it only went up maybe about a couple PSI of that. It's like 40 PSI. Barely even close to being great, so. It's the last one by the firewall, so. Thinking it's either valve train or some piston rings or some fucked up's going on here. Well, here it is. I mean, it's gungy, but what do you expect? But there is something odd about this. They're all got oil up to them except for one. It's dry. It's missing a push rod. What the fuck's up with that? I mean, you can just buy another one and put it in, but why was it gone? That might explain a few things. I mean, at least it's showing it was getting oil on the top end. Cranking it over. I mean, it's not perfect underneath the valve cover, but I've seen worse. There's definitely been worse out there, so I wonder what the other side would look like. Well, here's the other side, albeit more of a bitch to get at, but it's a lot cleaner. Evidence of oil coming up to the top end. And they all have their the push rods. Why one was taken out on the other side, I couldn't fucking tell you. I have to get a little vacuum in there and suck out any debris I can. But this does look a lot cleaner. So, what did we learn so far from all this? I learned that a bent push rod that is straight as a fucking pride brake can set you back a couple of steps. But I'm not detracted by this, not worried, not the least bit concerned, because I expect this to happen. It's a junkyard car, folks. It's not going to be an easy fight. But a bent push rod's never killed any motor. You can always buy another one. They make a million of them. So we'll do that and hope for the best. And why it happened in the first place, who knows? Could be a guy over revved it, stuck valves, bad gas. Any number of things can cause a push rod to bend, but doesn't mean it's the end of the motor, so I'm optimistic about it. We'll get that fixed and we'll take it on from there. In the meantime, I'm going to get me a fucking drink because I sure should need one. Okay, I got the rocker off. Can't see much because of the sun glare and the shadowing, but I got it all ready to drop in another push rod. No preparation, other just stick it in there and tighten her down. I don't know what the torque rating's on these rockers, so I'm just going to basically just wing it. You know, the tolerance on these Ford 400 351s ain't so surgical or NASA-like or high-tech. It's, you know, the tolerances ain't really that, you know, up to, so just do your best is basically all they hope for on these engines. That's what we're going to do. Oh, I'm going to shine a light down here, make sure it's right on the bullseye, tighten it down, and inspect the other push rods, make sure they're spinning and they don't look a astute bit bent. I do have a second one just in case. We'll work on firing it up. All right, let's see if they all worked where it's supposed to. Ta-da! Well, it's like Uncle Buck, it backfires. Ah, quit it, you're burning, you fucker. There, it's a little bit easier to work on. Got the fan shroud and fan, set aside. Easy to turn it over. Got the timing mark down there, highlighted in yellow paint. I've turned the motor a couple of times, so it may or may not be visible. Recheck the firing order on that. I'm sure he fucked it up somewhere. Never said I was ASC certified. I'm not even ABC certified or any other alphabets. I'll see where part I fucked up on there and get this motor the best chance running possible. I'm going to replace the battery cables while I'm at it, because why not? Anything will help at this point. Look at this shit. Nope. I bet the motor would crank over a lot better if these were brand new. Look at this dainty shit. It's like, what, 6 gauge, the riding lawnmower battery cable gauge? This is 4 gauge. It's probably 6 maybe. Doesn't matter, it's going to get replaced. What else? Oh yeah, I'm going to see if I can install an oil pressure gauge back there. Because, if the miracle happens, I get it to run. I want to know how much oil pressure it's got. Okay, when you drop this in, the rotor will spin a little bit when it lines up with the cam gear. We want the rotor aimed this way to cylinder 1 on the cap. There we go. But these typically don't bottom out all the way because they may have lined up with the cam gear, but they don't line up often with the oil pump shaft. The remedy to that is you just crank it over underneath on the bottom. I still got my ratchet and pry bar on the pulley, the crank pulley. Now it's already at TDC compression. The thing you gotta state here is the second when this mates with the cam gear, it's timed. It's in relation with the cam gear, so that's fine. So when I spin the motor to get this bottomed out for the oil pump shaft, it's not going to change anything. Go the other way, but it will go in. More leverage, and there you go. Seated all the way in now. I didn't show that far off TDC because I marked the pulley with some yellow paint. Center that out. Okay, there's the mark. Back it off a little bit. There. As zero as it gets on the pulley. And this, is my indicator, going back and forth. I got the screwdriver inside the cylinder hole. So now, we reorientate this to where cylinder number 1 is here. And follow the firing order. And we'll see what it does after that. It looks better. See that yellow mark there? An accelerator pump linkage? That's where the rotor's pointed. The rotor's aimed directly at that yellow line, so relative to cylinder number 1, time or retarding, advancing, which way it is on this motor. Don't know on top of my head at the moment, but relative to that yellow line and this one, this plug right there, cylinder 1, retarding, advancing. So I think we're all good. Just there, it's a start right there, start off the bat, see if that hits anything. Battery cables are good. Everything looks good down there. See if this thing will fucking fire up for the first time in 30 years. Here's hoping. Alright, everything's in place. Let's give it some shit. I think we made some progress. Let's go into the gasoline now. Built the float bowl. Try that. Well, I call that a marginal success. Let's see if we can get a run off the bottle, and I'll soon do the same. All right, we got an IV line and a oil pressure gauge all tied in. Let's get this on. Let's put some gas in here. Leak it out on the bottom, let's do this. Oh, we need to toast this. Oh, fuck yeah. I ain't done with this yet. This thing has a dry mouth for 30 years. Fucking thing needs to drink more than me. Oh, fuck, man, that's good to hear this thing talk. Whew. Didn't sound great, but it ran. Hey, who the fuck sounds great when they get out of bed for a long time? It's basically what the car equivalent to this is. Got a little bit of gas left. Still long to make this thing last. PSI. That's all she wrote. Sucked all the gas out of that Ivy line. 50 fucking PSI. Holy fuck, and I didn't hear any rod knock or spun bearing or nothing. Might need a timing chain, I don't know. But that's a fucking win if I ever saw it. 30 years, no more. We're closer than ever to make this thing an Uncle Buck runner. Jiminy fucking cricket, I think I'm done for today. Got this car to sing for the first time in 30 years with 50 psi of oil and no rod knock. Can't beat that. I think the transmission's a winner as well, at least I'm hopeful about it. Can't help but be optimistic about this type of shit, especially when you yank a car out of the wood/junkyard that hasn't ran for decades, so it's just the name of the game. Anywho, next video is just going to be nickel and dime stuff, dryer shaft, carburetor, master cylinder, that type of shit, so you're still young for it, so when you're in Minnesota, you take what you get for good weather, and we're getting 40 degrees and sunny weather in February, so I ain't wasting a minute of it. I got a lot accomplished today on it, so as the year progresses, hopefully this thing will be a runner and we'll be Uncle Bucking it in no time. Banging, bouncing, and bucking, and God knows what else with it, so as it stands, this guy drank all its gas, and I drank all of mine as well. 3 airplane bottles down the tubes, and nothing left. Ain't that a bitch? Hey, well, I'm going to put it away for the day, and I'm going to look for another bottle, because the day's still young for that. Catch you guys later.